Hello, everyone, and welcome to MJam, your Friday live stream here on That Park Place, where we talk about theme parks at the start of it, but mostly we talk about whatever me and Marv want to talk about. Marv,
This
how
is
you
true.
doing today?
I'm doing all right. I'm doing all right. I'm ready for some M Jam. This is how I decompress from my week, and this is a week that needs a lot of decompression. But yeah, I'm feeling really good. It's been an excellent week. Did a great live stream from Universal yesterday over on the M4 Empire with Krista Nova and Drunk 3PO and Beardo and X Wing and RJ. We had a really nice time. We went to
That's
celebrate my
really
birthday
cool.
and decided to bring everybody along with us. Essentially,
Bring everybody, everyone who's important was on your live stream.
everybody who was important and was in the state of Florida. Yeah, but
Okay, fine. I admit it. I'm not in Florida, and I'm a little jealous. Well, I don't like the word jealous. I'm very happy for you, although I am starting to be like, man, I wish I could be there for that. Man.
we always
Oh well.
say that we wish Jonas was here. Pretty much it comes up every single time everybody hangs out.
Yeah, I read a couple of comments on the back end of that Park Place saying Jonas is never on that Park Place anymore, which is funny because
He
I
hosted an
definitely
entire
am.
show
That's
here.
right.
Yeah.
I would just want to say thank you very much to Juliet for sending in a £5 super chat right there. It's a baby boy.
Thank you very much.
Evening
Well,
that Park Place
it's
and
it's
chat.
half of a baby Marv. I was 10 pounds 0 ounces when I came out.
Really? I was
Yeah.
11
So
pounds.
I was born a month late. Essentially, like it would never be
Ah,
allowed to happen today. But back then, like yeah, I was supposed to be born in March, and then I was born in April, and yeah, essentially, what I was picking up my head in the nursery the day that I was born, and the nurses were all like freaking out about it.
he's alive.
Yeah, no, like I was like boss baby in the nursery. So
That's
you know,
fantastic.
one might say I've been exceptional since birth, but I wouldn't say that. That just sounds
that
entirely
that just sounds like something an Italian mother would tell you.
not my Italian mother. No,
Yeah.
my Italian mother is like 17 hours I labored. 17 hours. 17 hours I
What's that
was in
line
that.
from
I
Arrested
was in that
Development?
bed.
The doctor said there were claw marks on the walls of the womb.
Bus- Buster.
Yeah. And then they zoom out to reveal he's just been sitting there at the table the whole time. Oh man, we are just blasted through nap time, aren't we?
Uh, Good lord.
But Juliet said, evening that Park Place and chat. Congrats on 30K. Here's to
30K.
50K and beyond. Yes,
Yeah.
this channel has gotten to 30,000 subscribers.
Yeah, we're gonna have a big celebration sometime soon, from what I understand. So,
Yes, we need to
yeah.
do a big show. Maybe we
Well,
need to do
next,
it Friday of next week. I don't know.
you know what? Next week, I think apparently is gonna be a big, like, uh, almost like a 30,000 subscriber, reboot or rebirth of this channel, because we're going to be having some special new people coming in. We've got a whole bunch of things that are happening next week. My Wednesday show is going to be a lot different next week, so make sure you guys tune into that. It's going to be great. I'm not going to give anything specifically, but it is going to be quite different and I think awesome.
I different and awesome are both excellent things. Also, Just a Dutchie coming in member for 8 months. Has it been
Hey, there
eight
she
months
is. I have
already?
not seen Just a Dutchie in like a couple weeks, so
Yeah. Well, congrats on hitting 30K subscribers and happy Friday or TGIF or however you want to call it. But remember, may today be the Friday-est Friday that ever Fridayed. And now Friday sounds like a made up word.
it does.
Friday. It does.
Fruity.
Real life fake
Fries
wizard
Fries
sending
Day.
in a not super chat to say I'm also not in Florida.
No,
Agreed.
but so
I think that's for the best.
Real life fake wizard and I announced on Culture Crossfire yesterday that and now I'm sure more people will be announcing things like this in the future, but real life fake wizard and I have announced that we will be doing Culture Crossfire live this July from the Southeast Game Exchange. So we're waiting for more.
What?
Yes, we have announced that, Jonas.
That's
That's
amazing. That's
happening.
the first I've heard of this.
Yes, I'm sure it is, but maybe there will be some more announcements about Southeast Game Exchange in the future, but we'll see,
That would be really cool to get to meet you in person,
right?
you
Well, we
know?
know me, and so not only are we doing Culture Crossfire live at Southeast Game Exchange, but then Carol Brown and I are going to be doing a writing panel about writing for games.
So
So
you're
that's going
saying
to be awesome
Caro
as well.
Brown, author from the Rippaverse, is
Yes,
also going to be at Southeast Game Exchange?
she is. So far, the three of us are
Man,
confirmed.
that's really cool. I hear Critical Drinker is going to be there.
He is also confirmed.
And
Yeah.
in real life, Vic Wizard obviously going to
Well,
be
yeah.
there. Man, there's so many things going on.
It's going to be a big party in Greenville, South
What
Carolina this
in the
July.
world? I'm, maybe I can try to be there. That's really
Mm.
cool. Uh, uh, Safka. Actually, he's not Safka because it was Sean, the artist formerly known as John Cusack, something like that. And so I started calling him Tafka, but it's not Safka in the acronym anymore. It's more like a Snafjuk.
Yeah. I don't know. I like the way you were saying it.
I like Stafka. Yeah, we'll say Stafka.
I just call him
Sean, good to
Sean.
see you out there.
I just call him Sean, formerly John.
Yeah, and he became a member at the Tipcot level. I guess he's trying us out here. Thank you very much,
There you go.
Sean. And I of course love my best friend Jonas J. Campbell, and some people like Marvin too.
I've been told I'm an acquired taste. I was told that again by my Italian mother.
Of all the people,
She has not yet acquired the taste, but
Archer Merchant for $2. How nice for OG characters 5 years late. Which characters are we talking about?
I don't know.
Archer Merchant.
Marvel,
are we talking
maybe?
about? Are we are going to talk about?
Oh,
Marvel.
no. I think he's talking about Star Wars OG characters.
Oh yeah. Let's get into that one. So Disney cannot help themselves. They launched a Star Wars land and they didn't have any Star Wars characters in it. They had Chewbacca and they had the Apple Store stormtroopers going around, and they also had Kylo Ren. Now they've decided that they're going to redo Disneyland's Galaxy's Edge, because how many Galaxy's Edge did they put together? Two, each at $1 billion apiece. And then they added in Star Wars characters. Now they're redoing the one out in Disneyland to be OG trilogy. And where is it?
They are finally adding Star Wars characters to their Star Wars theme park.
Right, like the dinosaurs in that one scene in Jurassic Park where they didn't have dinosaurs, but then the dinosaurs showed up. Well, here's a young little dinosaur coming out. We're just going to play it because we're not going to play the John Williams music.
That looks so terrible.
It really does.
Look at that wig. It's so bad.
I feel bad for this guy because he has nothing to do with it. He got a great job. He's a Disney meet and greet character. He's going to have little kids lining up to meet him, and beginning April 29th, they're going to be having this fella in the parks.
I think it's honestly the wig. I think that's the entire issue here is the wig, because it looks cheap, and it looks like a community theater. Or what I said on X was that both of the characters we saw here, this looks like the picture in the front of the bag of the Spirit Halloween Han Solo costume that you would buy.
It really does. It's also, this would be fine if it were on stage, but when you're doing a close up on social media and you got the video right in the guy's face, okay, sure. If you were playing Han Solo in a theater production of A New Hope, sure, this would be fine. You're not expecting full fidelity there. Oh, whoa. Had a little audio mix up there. But we've got one that, well, let's just say it's a little bit worse. Let's go over here to the Princess Leia reveal that has just come out. First of all, they got the ramp down for Princess Leia. That's nice. This one looks like the TV sitcom version of Princess Leia.
Looks like she's wearing a hairnet. She looks like Lunch Lady Doris from The Simpsons.
She looks like that lady in is it 50 First Dates, that you can't quite tell if it's that hairstyle of you can't quite tell if it's a guy or a girl.
It's Pat.
Right. This is obviously a girl, but this character doesn't quite fit. This is not quite the Princess Leia look, but I think they wanted the authoritative. Also, is that Han Solo's jacket?
I don't think so. No, his jacket was navy blue. No,
yeah,
it looks like something that she would have worn in like Empire or something like that. But man, it really does not look like Princess Leia.
There's nothing about this that evokes Princess Leia. If I saw this, other than the little badge marking right there, that's very Star Wars. If you told me that this was Tracy Lord or whatever the Billy Lord's character in Star Wars, that is Princess Leia's daughter, I would believe that. Looks more like White Widow. Also whatever this is, the laughing smirk at whatever R2 is up to, just this looks like a bad photo shoot.
It really does. Again, it looks like the front of a Spirit Halloween costume bag. It's
Right.
you know.
If I ran into this in the parks, I would go, "Oh yeah, we saw the meet and greet character, and that's
Did you
that's fine."
did you see that even Variety was calling them out over this?
Yes, even Variety going after them. To
Like
which,
the shilliest shill outlet there is. The is this the gayest thing you've ever seen outlet was the one calling them out on how terrible these characters look. And here's the thing, this is not the first time these characters have been featured in the parks. They used to have Star Wars weekends, every single year in Hollywood studios, and they would have Luke, Han, and Leia as part of that, and they did not look this bad.
yeah, I think I have wig blindness because the wig really wasn't the issue for me here. It's the fact that he just looks like a young Italian man as opposed to Han Solo.
Harrison
My
Ford.
goodness, Variety. Yeah, he doesn't look like Harrison Ford in any way. He's if you
He
if you
looks like a football
squint,
jock that's gonna like put your head in the toilet.
right, right. Well, maybe we won't go there. I think I could take him. I don't know. Is he wanting to fight? So here's the thing here's my thesis of all of this is where they tell you put your thesis at the beginning of your argument, but I'm going to go one further here and say that this is actually a worldwide Disney problem with social media, is that they don't actually know how to run their social media. So Drew Smith, Drew Disney Dude, good guy, apparently follows me on X.
Oh, that's nice.
So he's got impeccable taste. He, I'm going to say, reposted this video, and this is the caverns. I'm gonna adjust the volume to try to lower it here, but this is a great example of something that Disney does not need to post on social media.
Deep within Big Thunder Mountain, mysterious new presence is stirring.
Mysterious new presence.
We
What?
started in the Batcave after we received a scan of the entire mountain, and we were able to design and place different bat assemblies. Previously, we had just had our airline bats in this space, and now we've really enhanced the story by adding individual rockwork bats, rockwork bat clusters, and our show set bats. We had a lot of different disciplines working in the Batcave. We had special effects team working on some rat eyes and the fans that actually will move our show set bats. We also had our paint team come out and paint on the bats as well, some eyes in the back of the cave, so it looks like it keeps going on forever and ever. We have over 200 show set bats and over 2,000 bats in the cave itself. It's bats! I love Big Thunder Mountain.
Deep within Big
Okay.
Oh my! It's bats. I love Big. Can we please clip? It's bats. I love Big Thunder Mountain. Because that is right up there with.
And so what we've tried to do is really bring that shape language from the architecture. But like what we love to talk about at WDI is shape language. And we often
bats.
Yeah, again,
Shape language and bats. What's the bat language of this? Every time, like I remember when they closed down Big Thunder Mountain for a long time last time, we all thought they were going to add like the fire and stuff, and they added these like neon green colored bats.
right.
And
So
I'm like, what is their obsession with bats?
I really don't know. Looking at this though, this is something that I should be speeding past this, or it should be
Yes.
something in the background.
Yes.
This is not the kind of thing that they need social media content more than they want to make Imagineering look like they do magical things. So I don't need to know. Oh well, they're up there. There's 3 screws, and they're really just little pieces of metal that kind of they kind of wave back and forth because of
It
the
used
wind
to-
in the cave.
It used to be you never saw this stuff unless you paid for some kind of tour. Because they don't want you to see this because it breaks the illusion. They don't care about the illusion anymore.
Right. This is the kind of thing that is trying to feed the people who know. They want to know more than they want to be amused by it. The kind of people who try to like tell you how to enjoy the theme park, and those people are insufferable because I've been one of those people in the past, and I've gone to Disney with the kind of people that try to insist on showing you how to enjoy the parks in a way that makes it no fun for anybody.
Mhm. They're also the
So-
people that talk along with the ghost host during the stretching room.
Oh,
and
my.
Kick them all in the face.
Yeah, no one has ever gotten out of that and been like, you know what? It was awesome. This guy knew every single word.
What a cool guy! I'm gonna get his autograph afterward because he's clearly the ghost host because he knows all the words.
And everyone clapped.
Yeah, every single person.
So
And I'm sitting there and just, like it has. I have literally never ridden Haunted Mansion without someone going, and no doors. I'm just like, like, seriously, if you really want to get me to roll my eyes, like if you really want to irk me, talk along with the ghost host. I dare you.
Texas 84 says he does it.
Stop it. Don't do it anymore.
Because of technology.
People are there to hear the
children don't
ghost
have
host do it. They're not here to hear
imaginations
you.
You know, here we go. Side eye loading.
Yeah,
Troy.
for real.
Yeah. Bad influences from the vloggers. Karen, good to see you. And yeah, I agree.
Something somebody said to me one time. I used to like when we would go on the Navi ride, the dragon, the Ekron ride, the Banshee, Flight of the Banshee, or whatever the heck it's called. The pre-show for that is so aggressively awful that whenever we would go on it, I would roast it. Like I would just make fun of it the entire time. And then a friend of mine was like, it's probably somebody's first time on this ride and they don't want to hear you do it. And I was like, you know what? I'm actually like, cause as somebody who's been on it like so many times, Avatar Flight of Passage, that's what I'm thinking of. I took that to heart and I was like, you know what? That's actually true. Like I really shouldn't, like no one's there to hear me do a stand-up comedy routine.
Well, yeah, I did that on. I was a teenager and I was doing my own little. We'll call it a talk along with "It's a Small World," and somebody said, "Hey, we got kids here," and I felt bad about it forever.
Mm-hmm. Look at this, Texas. That was James. Texas 8412 says, "To be fair, half the room does it. Good for them. Don't join in. If half the room jumped off a bridge, are you following them?"
James all day. Paul Frees is the best. He is the best.
He is the best.
Yeah.
I'd like to hear him do the monologue.
Yeah. I don't know how this got passed here, but Black Jonas for $5.
What? Look at that avatar.
That's right there. Black Jonas for $5. Yo, what is up, my MJM homeboys? How are you this blessed day?
He really does look like he sounds like Morgan Freeman. Oh my
blessed
goodness.
Day. Oh my. That is absolutely fantastic.
Which one of our regulars rebranded themselves to be Black Jonas? I have to know.
That's beautiful. That's beautiful. But looking at this, if Disney people do watch this stream, I've gotten confirmation many times over. If I can get anything through, and to any of you on this, y'all need to chill out on the social media. You need to put the magic back in the parks, and the magic is going to be not telling everybody everything that you are doing.
Yes.
Let them be mystified.
Yep.
And let things come out
How did they do
after
that?
the fact.
I used to love to think about like how did they do that, and then I started getting like too into the weeds. Like I remember like when I had gotten really like obsessive in my 20s, I got like the Lou Mangello walking tours of the Magic Kingdom, and now I'm like, now I know how everything is done, and now it's not as fun anymore. Like Pepper's Ghost is a really cool illusion. I wish I didn't know how it worked.
Yeah, that's the same. I intentionally did not look up the Haunted Mansion illusion online for a very long time because I thought I knew how it worked and I intentionally avoided it. And now that I see how they do it, it's not as cool. Or seeing the rusty painted black pivots that they got for the dancing ghosts. I
have no desire to know how they do like Turtle Talk with Crush. I had no desire to know how they do like the talking Mickey and like how they make the selection so fast. I'm sure that it's out there. I could learn it if I want to. I don't want to know.
You know, the thing that I want to know is how did they make that Dole Whip so delicious?
You know, this is another lesson that I had to learn the hard way from somebody because, back when I was like Captain Know-It-All about the parks, we're like about to ride the Haunted Mansion. I said to my friend, I'm like, okay, so do you think that the stretching room is an elevator or does the ceiling go up? And my friend was like, I don't want to know. Don't tell me. And then I was like, oh, that's interesting. How you don't want to know. Maybe life would be better if I didn't know.
You know, that's the stages of like everything. Not to get too philosophical on this, but there are certain things that it's better not to know. Like with movies, I remember seeing Lost in Space with Matt LeBlanc in it, and thinking, this is great. I love this. I love all movies. Now, I don't think I haven't rewatched it in a long time, but I imagine if I went back and watched it, I probably wouldn't enjoy it in the same way that I did as essentially a child. So there are levels of being familiar with something, and it's okay to be a casual fan of something and to not know how something is ruined. Like
even as a child, I didn't like I didn't like that Lost in Space movie because when it was coming out, like my parents were big Lost in Space fans, and so they kind of like showed me like old Lost in Space like before the movie came out. And so when the movie came out, I was like, oh, this is nothing like that.
So if you like the original Lost in Space, you wouldn't want the space action movie that was Lost in Space.
And Matt LeBlanc's attempt to be anything other than Joey.
Right. And you go from, what's his name? Dr. Smith? Coming in, no, Dr. Smith. Down to Gary Oldman in his villain era, playing, evil Dr. Smith. Actually evil, not just
bubble-headed booby.
and then he chilled out by the time he got to Sirius Black. So
yes,
which
I liked him as Sirius Black, though way too old to be Sirius Black, I will say.
Right.
They aged up so I'm listening to the audio dramas right now, the Harry Potter full cast audiobooks, and it's so good. I'm on the Order of the Phoenix. I just got to Keira Knightley as Umbridge for the first time, and it's so good.
Is she a good Umbridge?
I've only heard her speak once, so I'm trying to decide if I like it. She gives her a very it's like a very sickeningly sweet voice, which I guess it's supposed to be. But if I didn't know it was Keira Knightley, I would have never known it was Keira Knightley. I need to hear her say more, and I need to hear her when she gets to those moments where she gets the "I will have order." So
right. So I think Half-Blood Prince just dropped on Audible. So they've got one more. So they got one more month, and I've got. I'll just say it. I'm getting through an entire audio reading of the Bible before I'm gonna do Harry Potter. Kind of a switch there. The '90s moms would be appalled that I'm switching from the Bible to that Harry Potter.
You haven't so you haven't actually started the Harry Potter stuff yet?
I did. I started it a little bit, and I realized I need to give it my full attention. So I did a thing where I binged. I when I worked in corporate accounting, when I was doing numbers, I could listen to an audiobook at the same time and no problem. But now that we work in video and in written word, I can't have audio of a story going in my head and actually comprehend it. So I pretty much stopped audiobooks unless I'm going out for a walk or something.
Well, because I have to go to the theme parks so much. The theme parks are about 40 minutes from my house, pretty much any of them. So I listen on the way, like yesterday.
Yep.
Real Life Fake Wizards said Sirius Black is going to be Filipino in the HBO series. It's possible.
It would be too perfect if the actual House of Black was black.
I was about to say, I feel like HBO has that level of subtlety at this point.
Right. And I can see the Twitter mobs already saying black is literally in the name.
Yep. It's just funny that like Snape and then potentially Sirius Black, or the House of Black, all the purebloods, who are super racist, they're all going to be black.
Now that would be an interesting element to.
I will say the voice actor for
the Lestrange black supremacists.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that would be something.
The actor who plays Sirius in the audiobooks is black, but I don't care. He just sounds like Sirius Black. It's not. I'm not watching him. I'm imagining my own version of Sirius Black in my head as described. Same thing with her. I think the older Hermione is played by a black actress, but again, it's voice acting. And here, are you listening here, Paramount? The voice actors do not have to match the ethnicity of the character that they're playing.
Well, obviously. Oh, you're talking about Aang?
Yes, Avatar.
Yeah.
I'm just glad that they swapped out the iconic voice of Toph for an actual blind Asian voice actor. I could just when I hear her speak, I can just hear how Asian and blind she is. And it makes me feel better about myself as a person, knowing
Right.
how blind and Asian she is.
Right. It reminds me of one of the best jokes that I ever heard. It was, "We're a very visual band, and I think you can hear that in our sound."
That is a good one.
Yeah. By the way, I don't know if you guys know this, but this live stream currently, right now, is being presented in Ultra Karate Infinity Vision. It's a special standard
good.
that we've rolled out in order to compete with IMAX, because the IMAX screens were all taken up by a Hexed, that latest Disney release to get retooled at the last minute.
It's actually just been upgraded to Ultra Karate Infinity Vision Plus.
Well, yeah, that's what it is for streaming. But look at this. Disney makes enemies to save Avengers. Infinity Vision insults IMAX and the theater owners. This from WDW Pro. We can read into all of this, but basically what's gone on here is Dune has all the IMAX screens, and Dune is a brand ambassador for IMAX. And so they're not giving up their IMAX screens willingly. And Dune opens the exact same day as Avengers Doomsday. Now,
It does.
a week
and
before,
it had that date first, and then Disney moved to that date.
It's true, because there's been a thing in the past where Disney has said, we're going to go to this day, and everybody moves, because Disney is a cultural juggernaut when it comes to the movie theaters, or let's say has been in the past. Emphasis on has been as a company. Jumanji was the week before, and they moved to the week after, because they figure being a week after Doomsday is better than being on the week of Doomsday. And so then the question becomes, okay, are you going to move up 1 week, Dune, or are you going to move up 1 week, Disney? And it seems like Disney's not moving. So even though all the 70 millimeter IMAX screens are already sold out for this, like, they are talking about whether or not they need to add showings. And this is, I don't know, I'm iffy about saying it is definitely the most important release of the year. I don't know if it's going to be the biggest release of the year.
Which one? Doomsday?
Doomsday, yeah.
Well, yes, it's the one that they spent $700 million on, apparently.
Right. And I do like that Disney's loss leader strategy with movies is kind of being exposed now. They have to, because they've reached the upper limits on how much someone should ever spend on a movie.
Correct.
So looking at this, okay, so here's what's happened is Disney started this campaign to say, oh, well, we don't need IMAX. So I think that was also trying to be a hint to Dune to say, move it, move it, move it. And then within the last few days, they premiered something called Infinity Vision, which looks a lot like the Marvel logo, in which they're saying, okay, well, we're going to be releasing Avengers Endgame 2 months before. Yeah, because it's going to be in, I think, September. And they're releasing their own certification for premium large formats to say you need to watch it in this one in order to get the best theatrical experience. Were you about to say something, Marv?
So it's basically just like a certification that they're giving things.
Right. They've come up with a word.
They made this up.
Yeah, this is the second day in a row where I feel like the words blast processing are relevant to the conversation. It seems like they're making up the standard. Now,
we might not have IMAX, Jonas, but we do have Infinity Vision. We're the only movie coming out that's presented in Infinity Vision. And like what the heck is, like, nobody knows what that means.
Right.
It's absolutely insulting and dumb.
Right. So if we were making the positive case for it, they're saying, oh, well, there's RPX, there's HDR, there's LD.
But don't those have a lot of those have actual like theaters named at like
right.
specifically designed for it? Like there's no Infinity Vision theater.
Yeah. With this, they're just saying, well, what you want, you want the genuine Nintendo you want the Disney seal of approval here. You want Infinity Vision for every one of your laser projector theaters. Laser Infinity Vision does sound pretty awesome, but I got to say this just seems like it's a bunch of marketing hooey.
Hooey indeed.
Huey, Dewey, and Louie. Flying blind on a rocket cycle, member for 6 months. 6 months, groovy. Good to have you here. And then says for $2, good day all. Good day to you, flying blind on a rocket cycle. Texas 84 is not living this down for $5. What if I whispered the ghost host spiel? Is that okay? Yes, that's absolutely okay.
No, it's not all right. It's not all right. It's like you know, an addict being like, what if I just have a little bit? Like, no, you have to go cold turkey. You have to break yourself of the habit, Texas. I'm pushing you on this. I'm gonna be the bad cop here, and Jonas is the good cop. You have to stop.
I'm going to say you can't really whisper it because you have to get that little rumble in it. Is it Sebastian Cabot? No, it's Paul Frees, but there is a recording of Sebastian Cabot trying to do the ghost host spiel. So apparently they did a couple different tries at it.
Have you ever heard the woman who played Ursula do it as Ursula?
Yes. Oh, it's wonderful.
So good.
There's she's fantastic. Is that Pat Carroll?
Yeah.
She's so good.
Rest in peace.
And I had an idea for a channel back in the day called Additional Voices. And I'm not going to do it. This is why I'm saying the name of the channel idea. But to do different takes on iconic roles using different voice actor voices. Mm-hmm. So, for instance, one of my favorite party tricks is doing Oogie Boogie singing Poor Unfortunate Souls.
Oh, and that's interesting.
That's a fun one to do at parties. I'll say that.
I have done like Dr. Doofenshmirtz does the Haunted Mansion stretching room, not while I'm in the stretching room. But, or I've done like Stone Cold Steve Austin does like a speech from something, or the Joker doing on my show. I've done the Joker does the stretching room before. That was a super chat goal once.
That's actually perfect. Morgan Freeman as the ghost host. Well, there's always my way. It would sound kind of oddly comforting in Morgan Freeman's voice, honestly.
It would. Your cadaverous pallor betrays
an aura of foreboding. Yes, that's the one. You got to get busy living or get busy dying. There, I will lower the bar for you. It just sounds like Hoke, you know.
Who loves to lower the bar, Andy Dufresne.
He's going to take you to and get into your dune buggy, and I will take you down to the Piggly Wiggly, Miss Daisy.
I love it.
The first Dragon Queen for $2. Why not? Cool Kids Friday. Hugs for all. Yeah, I don't know if you saw this. I did put a little poll in the chat to ask if we should, if we've had this name for too long, if we need to go ahead and change it one more time.
Is a good name, I think. Do we have a super chat goal for today, by the way?
We don't have a super chat goal. Should I set a super chat goal? It's only
you want to do it if we get to a certain if we get to a certain threshold of super chats, I'll do the stretching room is the Joker or something like that.
Oh, that's perfect. Yeah. Okay. I'm going to set it to 10 super chats. 1 second here.
You go do that.
Sorry, I'm still working through a sore throat here. Okay, we'll set it 30 minutes, and we will. Marv will read.
Yep. Here, you know what? While you're typing.
It won't let me set a super chat goal.
Really?
Yeah. That's just not okay. All right. We'll track it manually then.
Okay.
If we get 10.
So what are we doing then?
10 $5 or above. That's what the
10 $5 or above. Okay.
Yep. And if we get to 15 $5 or above, I'll do.
Are we counting the ones that have already
Morgan
come
Freeman
in?
as well. Let's see.
We have
here.
1, 2. We've only had 2 $5 or above so far.
Okay. So we get to 10, we'll do Doofenshmirtz, and if we get to 15, I'll do Morgan Freeman as well.
Or Joker. I think Joker was what I had said.
Joker? Okay, that works. I typed in Doofenshmirtz, but it didn't save. So, yeah, Joker would be better.
Okay. So now we have 3 because another one just came in. So
Madame Pomfrey is a dude in the audiobooks.
It is, and I wanted to reference that. Yes, Madame Pomfrey doesn't have a large role in it, but every time
Right.
Madame Pomfrey pops up, it's very obvious what's going on. It's the same person that played Serona Ryan in Hogwarts Legacy.
Serona Ryan, the person who saved everybody, and is talked about like she is a hero and all of that over and over again.
Oh yeah.
Caveat ties for $2. The D in D plus stands for dumb. Dumb and Dumber. Yes.
Indeed.
Dogepal for $2. Nickelodeon animation got folded into CBS Studios.
Did it really?
Oh, that's a little disappointing. I hope that doesn't mean that's the end. That can't be the end of the Nickelodeon brand, can it?
I hope no. The Nickelodeon brand is very much alive, I think.
WJB Daily for $5. Marv as Joker. I suggest Howard the Duck.
That's because you probably never heard my Joker.
It's a pretty good Joker, actually. I love that Joker. So what are we at? You say we're at, okay, we got one. How many have we had so far? Three. All right. So if we get to 7 more, we got Marv doing the Joker. So
should we put a like a banner at the bottom of the screen?
Sure. I hate banners. You do the banner while I bring up our next story here. Disney has done it again, though. They have taken what was an announced project and they have significantly changed it again. I don't know what's going on over there at Walt Disney Animation Studios, but Haley Steinfeld and Rashida Jones have been set as the leads of Disney's Hexed at CinemaCon. Why is this important? Well, because they already announced that this was a story about a boy, and now they've retooled it into something else. Brings to mind Elio. Yeah. So they also Pixar had their movie Be Fry, which they said, well, it got canceled because they didn't picture they were going to do another girl power film. And so they tried to say that, oh, well, K-pop Demon Hunters is essentially the same thing. Be Fry is about 2 girls fighting demons. Therefore, it's the exact same thing. To me, that's like it's like saying, well, you said you wanted a movie about horses, and I gave you a movie about seahorses. Like, okay, yes, there's a word in common, but it's not exactly the same thing. I've seen the concept art that they released that's gotten out into the wind for Be Fry, and it doesn't look like K-pop Demon Hunters. I'll tell you that.
Nope.
So I'll say this is a good casting. I have no reason to doubt that these are the right people for an animated movie in the Disney's current milieu. Haley Steinfeld is charming in pretty much whatever role she's in. She's actually good as Kate Bishop in Hawkeye, etc. Because I think she showed up in some other things. Maybe has she been in anything in Marvel other than Hawkeye?
Not that I know of off the top of my head. Like What If?
Oh yeah. Well, that doesn't count.
But she's insufferable in that because they're all insufferable in that.
Right. So I really look at this and I see yet another late stage retooling by Disney before they release an animated project. Again, they're getting out in front and saying this is the thing that we're going to release instead of having something that they're sure that they're going to do, and then letting you know late in the game. Nintendo does this thing where they will tell you the day that it releases that they've got a new thing that's come out. I don't know how they manage to do that, but they do that. And Disney will tell you
scramble where it's like, oh, go.
It's amazing. Juliet's keeping track for us. And Just a Dutchie says, for €6, Marv is the Joker, Jonas is Batman. I don't think I could do a Batman voice today.
Yeah, probably not. Right, so that makes 5.
Yeah, I can do Morgan Freeman. Because that requires
doesn't take much effort.
Absolutely no moisture in your throat in order to do Morgan, because it's almost frogging. It's and then anyways, I don't know what Disney's up to here exactly, but there was a great tweet from an account called Thwipped, which we've used them and referenced whoever it is that runs this account on several occasions. They've had really great scoops in the past. If you go to this account, post 2020, every Walt Disney Animation Studios original, minus Encanto, which the through line here is that John Lasseter was in charge of Encanto for a large
Was he
period
really?
of time. He was involved at the start of it, yeah.
Okay.
Has been kind of a disaster in one way or another. Raya had 2 directors fired, plus the lead
Really?
actress recast.
I didn't know that.
Raya is not really that strong either. And the
Well, everybody forgot about it the second it came out. So
right. It also had a weird thing where they maybe quietly slipped in some gay stuff in there.
Oh,
Strange
you
World
think?
lost 150 million after 7 years of work. Man, Strange World, great animation, but what a incredibly woke story.
Oh yeah, big time.
Like final shot of the film is the white explorer embracing a disabled person, a disabled dog, the female captain, the wife that is the like the better adventurer. By the way, it's mixed race couple, so not that that's really a problem, but it's this stack of things on top of each other. Oh, and also climate change. It's an environmental fable that's just really eye rolling when you look at the whole thing. Oh, and by the way, the son's gay and maybe non-binary. Wish, the director, was removed and lost 125 million. In Hexed, the director was fired and the main character is changing. Oh yes, I forgot to mention Wish. The director of Wish is now the director of Hexed. Oh my. I don't know how much of Wish Vera something Corn can take credit for on Wish, since there was a replacement late in the game, but Wish is the worst thing that Disney Animation has ever released.
Well,
and that includes Strange World, which is bad.
So I mean, the through line here is that weren't these all developed under the reign of what's her face?
Yes, Jennifer Lee. Well, I don't know about
Lee.
Hexed, but yeah, Jennifer Lee.
I would
was
assume
in charge
Jennifer
of
Lee started the ball on Hex.
Yeah. I would imagine so too. There's a thing that there's a word missing from Hexed when they say that he's a teenage witch. Well, everything that they've done that includes a coven at Disney lately seems to be a lesbian coven. So,
Oh, I guarantee
I don't.
it was going to be like it was probably going to be like Wiccan the movie, like Wiccan from Agatha All Along and how gay he was. That's probably why they changed it to a girl.
Yeah, that does make sense. And I don't know if Haley Steinfeld is going to be playing it in. I don't think she'd be playing it that way, and I think Disney knows at this point that they can go to the movies with something that is generally inoffensive, and they will probably make money. Elio, I don't know what happened with Elio specifically, other than the fact that they sanitized it to not make it a gay allegory, and then all of a sudden it had no plot, even though they said that wasn't a primary part of the movie. You just remove all of it, and it takes everything interesting out of the movie out. So what does that say about what that movie was?
What I always say, they give you the Saudi Arabia cut.
Exactly. Flying Blind on a Rocket Cycle for $5, bringing us to six of our super chat goal of 10. And wasn't Wish their 100-year anniversary film? Yes, it was.
It was,
and they tried to.
It was supposed to be the origin of When You Wish Upon a Star.
Yes, it was, and she's supposed to be the fairy godmother when it comes down to it. And
okay, so can I ask about that for a second, because I've never actually seen Wish. Is it like clearly stated that she becomes the fairy godmother? Because isn't it kind of like way worse if this black girl gets magic powers and uses them to turn herself into an old white lady?
I think she's supposed to be maybe Dominican or like some Afro Hispanic mix or something like that. The fairy
godmother is not.
Right. Well, you get old enough, maybe you. I don't know.
The fairy godmother is very much an old white lady who looked like my grandma.
Right. Well, they're fine recasting everybody and their mother. They a lot of people forget, because she didn't really rise until after the Pinocchio movie, that Cynthia Erivo is the blue fairy in the Disney live action remake of Pinocchio.
Right. And everyone was like, "Why did they make that guy the blue fairy?"
Right. So, and she looks like she does on the red carpet, not how she does in Wicked, where they give her hair. So, Wish was a really strange movie in which I kind of what's the guy's name? Magnifico, whatever the name of the character that Chris Pine played.
Something
He
like that.
he's the one who's established a kingdom, and they kind of confuse wishes and dreams. Like you give up your dreams in order to be in this society, and it's supposed to be that King Magnifico grants one of them their dream every single time, but it's always something that's self-serving. So they have something that's like a benevolent commune, but they don't like the idea that this guy is the one that the white guy is the one that gets to grant all of that. It's very strange, the whole thing. And it's also not a compelling story. So, and yes, it was their 100th anniversary. Going Shogi! Good to see you, man. Remember for the 23
months.
Wish makes Home on the Range look like Amadeus in comparison. There are people who don't remember Home on the Range. That was the Roseanne Barr and Cuba Gooding Jr. one. Yeah, oh my. As cows. As cows. Imagine that. So.
Currently at 6 out of the 10.
Yep. Black Jonas for $2. I'm inquisitive. Who be reading that Bible audiobook? I actually don't know the name.
You got to read it as you got to read those as Morgan Freeman. That's what Black Jonas sounds
I'm inquisitive. Who is reading that Bible audiobook? I don't know his name on this one. He has a Brian Cox kind of sound to his voice, where he almost sounds like he's angry about what he's reading. But it's a New American Standard 2020 edition. If so, somebody asked if it was the James Earl Jones Bible,
which James Earl Jones version of the Bible
there is it's either the King James or the New King James. The complaint that I've often heard about it is that it's actually they've got like an orchestra behind it for some of it, and it drowns out the narration a little bit.
Oh, that's interesting.
So I've never listened to it, but James Earl Jones. Texas 84 for 5. Wilton as ghost host.
Nope.
I'm trying to think. You're what if I'm going to have to actually look up whatever it is that the ghost host says in order to say it correctly.
Why are you talking like that?
Well, it's actually Daffy Duck or Wallace Shawn. Yeah. Have you heard of Plato, Aristotle, Socrates? Morons.
I do love Daffy Duck.
So. Wallace Shawn is fantastic. I will watch almost anything that he's in because I don't know if he's just got good branding and only says yes to the parts that he wants to play at this point, but he always brings it. If anybody knows which actor I'm talking about, I know Marv knows who Wallace Shawn is, but looking at this though, I actually have more hope for this film than I did when they originally announced it, knowing that Haley Steinfeld is cast in the lead role. Here's one I want to talk about, though. Dwayne "The Rock" Johnson is out there.
We have an article about this on That Park Place. Yeah, he is ridiculous.
Yeah, this to me is like, what are you doing, buddy? Who told you to type this? Who told you to say? Well,
Hollywood
who told you to say this on stage? Dwayne Johnson says real masculinity means supporting warrior women like Moana.
Remember, young men, real masculinity is feminism. What happened to you, man? Like, what happened to you? Have they sucked every last bit of testosterone out of you? Have you done so many roids that the parts of you that are supposed to be masculine have shriveled up into nothing? That's as good as I can do on this channel with the restrictions that we have.
Yeah.
I mean, like, good Lord, this was the most feminized soy boy nonsense thing I have ever heard. Real masculinity is feminism. If you smell what The Rock is cooking.
Yeah, the hero of our story is not a princess. She's a warrior. All men of all ages. We should empower and support and champion all women. That's what real masculinity looks like. Except for princesses, apparently. Yeah. Throwing shade at the princesses. By the way, princesses should be treasured. That's
also, she is a princess. Her father's the chief.
She's the daughter of
a princess. She's the daughter of the chief. Like in the trailer, she's like, "I'm not a princess. My father's the chief." I'm like, that makes you a princess.
That's double princess right there, because she is the female heir to the throne. She's a princess.
Yes.
What's funny is in all of this, it's it's what's often said of like the implication that there's a certain segment of people that can't get voter ID because the implication by certain parties that's a too hard of a restriction to put on people.
Mm-hmm.
Like it's a soft bigotry of low expectations. This is the soft bigotry of women need to be lifted up. So thank you very much, Dwayne Johnson, for white knighting here
Mm-hmm.
to try to say that women need you to do this for them. Like,
For real.
seriously,
Can
dude.
Can I also just say, what about her is a warrior? She does nothing like a warrior. She doesn't solve the problem like a warrior in the end of that movie. She shows compassion. She actually resolves the conflict like a princess.
Right.
With diplomacy and compassion and kindness.
That's actually a really good point. The other thing about this is that it's very much in that words are violence and silence is violence kind of wordplay here. She's not a warrior. Warrior, she doesn't go to war. She fights a monster, kind of. Also, what are they going to do when Dwayne the Rock Johnson has that in his contract that he's not allowed to lose in a fight? But Tamatoa obviously beats Maui in the fight, and Moana has to show up in there. This whole thing to me, I don't know what The Rock is cooking. What he's up to is what I was originally going to say, but that fits too much. But it feels like he is almost as if he is the AI generated embodiment of a brand as opposed to an actual actor. Like this is the kind of corporate statement that you would expect somebody like the Disney company to say, as opposed to a guy that goes out, a guy who's supposed to go out and he shows up in the ring and he's taking jabs at people rhetorically and well, I guess physically. But instead he's like, you know what? The real warriors are the girls who don't go to war.
Yeah.
All right. That doesn't make any sense. Okay. And then the animated version was just an amazing experience for us as Polynesian people. Maui has been with me for over a decade, and to have the opportunity to bring this powerful and vulnerable demigod to life means so much.
Powerful and vulnerable. Stop it. Just stop it. Just put
Vulnerable?
a dress on it. Just put a dress on to go with that horrible wig of yours. Good Lord.
The vulnerable. No, the whole point of Maui is that he's not vulnerable.
Yeah.
He is obtuse and he is not in touch with his emotions. That's what makes him an interesting and funny character to relate to, is that he is not vulnerable. He was thrown away and he doesn't want to acknowledge it. But of course, if you go down here, you get the appropriate response.
It's ma'am.
Oh, Mammy. That's who he is.
Oh no. Oh,
Dwayne Johnson has had an amazing career, and I think I haven't seen Smashing Machine. I hope that he did well in the movie and that it gets whatever he's looking for critically and all of that.
Well, he didn't get his Oscar nomination and it didn't make money, so I don't know what exactly
right.
he could have gotten.
I hope he got some indie cred or something like that. But
yeah.
But this, if The Rock is just going to show up and he's going to be like a non-funny version of Jack Black, to where it's the brand showing up, Dwayne the Brand Johnson, and he's putting his power behind the movie here. And whenever they do Moana 3, 4, 5, and the live action Moana 2 or whatever, and he shows up and plays Maui, like, okay, great. I hope this is what you're okay with.
Well,
I hope you make a lot of money, because this is not adding to the culture in any way. In fact, I would say it's subtracting from it.
Pedro was the guy that they wanted to point to as the definition of what soft masculinity, that non-toxic masculinity should be. And that obviously didn't work. We saw the Summer of Pedro and how badly that failed. And now I guess it's The Rock, and he's going to play ball. And for a minute there, remember when The Rock refused to endorse anybody in the last election?
Oh,
and they made him pay for it. All of a sudden, every trade had articles about how toxic to work with The Rock is and how he pees in water bottles and stuff like that. He has apparently come around and kissed the ring, and now he's going to be the spokesman of woke. He's going to be Dwayne the Woke Johnson. And
I,
he's going to go out there and he's going to fall in line and he's going to advocate for the people that they want him to advocate for. He's going to become Newsom's best friend. This is the full Hollywoodization of The Rock. It only took 20 years.
I I wish that we were getting somebody who showed up as a bit part in movies and just did amusing things. Instead, everything has to, like the Jungle Cruise movie. I actually think that the Jungle Cruise movie was so bad that it made Dave Bautista question his choices in movie making. Like, and he's not even in that movie.
I thought the Jungle Cruise movie, like, I was like, it was fine. It doesn't need a sequel. And then they were like, Jungle Cruise 2. And I'm like, oh, now we're in bad territory.
Well, was that did they actually announce Jungle Cruise 2 after the movie came out, or did they announce it before the movie came out? Because that to me is a marketing move.
I heard it after the movie came out that they announced they were going to do Jungle Cruise 2. But,
Right. And they have him in this obviously very custom made costume to make him look like he's just the guy who happens to be on the boat instead of Go ahead. Well, there's that thing of pictures of The Rock in Rampage, The Rock in The Rundown, The Rock in several other things where it's just the Rock in a dirty white shirt or gray shirt in a jungle setting or around rubble, and you can't tell which movie it is.
He I feel like they announced that they're doing a second Wonka with Timothée Chalamet. They're doing Wonka 2, and I'm like, why? Wonka
It's
fine,
almost as if you could see my screen.
Oh, I actually didn't see that this is what you were doing. No, like, but what I was saying about Wonka, like the movie, I saw it recently, and I'm like, you know what? This was fun. This was nice, and it actually, like, where it ends, it sets up Willy Wonka and the Chocolate Factory perfectly.
Oh, you're right. You're actually talking about a different Wonka movie than the one that I've just brought up on screen.
I'm talking about the Timothée Chalamet live action Wonka prequel, because it's like it ends with him. Spoiler alert! It ends with him building the factory and singing "Pure Imagination."
I haven't seen it. I've heard it's good. It made pretty good money for a Warner Brothers movie, and Timothée Chalamet finally gets a mainstream hit. Which it's funny because Hollywood loved him until he made fun of ballet, which I think it's within his rights to, Dwayne Johnson is over here saying that women are warriors, and then Timothée Chalamet is over here saying ballet is kind of boring. Which I'm just going to tell you,
the more manly statement came from Timothée Chalamet versus The Rock. Wait, what were you going to say?
No, that's perfect. Chalamet's got Dune, but Dune doesn't have mainstream appeal in the same way that Wonka does, because Dune is a sci-fi franchise from the 80s. I know, obviously, there's the actual wonderful, great, amazing books, but it's okay for them to be a sci-fi masterpiece and not
Zendaya's hit, not his.
Yeah, well, Zendaya did get into Fortnite because of Dune.
The real masculinity is giving Zendaya credit for the box office of Dune.
And then we have Taika Waititi taking a slight downgrade. I'm gonna guess that he's playing Willy Wonka in this. So
no.
Yeah.
Hey there, I'm Willy Wonka. Wouldn't it be funny if Willy Wonka went to jail because he turned a girl into a blueberry?
I think that's probably where he's going to go with it.
That is where this is going.
So there was a point at which I was a huge Taika Waititi fan. I thought he was hilarious in almost everything he did. He does a commentary on Thor Ragnarok that had me laughing so hard. His introduction, like they did a black and white still to talk about how thankful he was for people to watch the movie, but then he goes off about his parents, about how they wish he would have been J.J. Abrams. And I laughed. I thought it was funny. It's great. But then after Thor Ragnarok, it's as if all of the whatever was holding him back was gone, and he got to do whatever he wanted. Mm-hmm. And then you have this quote unquote genius director, eccentric genius director, doing whatever he wants with lots of money, and then you get Thor: Love and Thunder, which is
called the Snyder Effect.
Is that what it is? Well,
That's
yeah.
Because Snyder made good movies. He made Watchmen. He made 300. People liked that stuff, and then suddenly they were like, "You have carte blanche to do whatever you want with DC," and What happened
Is
happened.
it Dawn of the Dead or Day of the Dead that Zack Snyder did? And it's really good.
But
I
then he
remember
made
being
Rebel Moon. And he's like,
right.
But honestly, this happens with everybody. Like Patty Jenkins made a good Wonder Woman movie. He made 2/3 of a good Wonder Woman movie, and then like they were like, okay, Wonder Woman 1984, you have a hit under your under your belt. You do whatever you want to make this the same hit that one was, and she went off the rails. Completely off the rails. Sam
Yeah.
Raimi with Spider-Man 3 went completely off the rails.
I watched Spider-Man 3 recently, and it's not as bad as I don't know if it's just a little bit of Stockholm or what's the word, like if you haven't eaten for 6 months and then all of a sudden you get to eat food, it's amazing. Everything you eat is amazing. I watched Spider-Man 3, and looking back, it's actually a lot better of a film than I remember it being.
The way Spider-Man 3 should have ended. They shouldn't have gone as hard in the paint with the costume, like making him evil. It should have been very subtle, and you should have kept Sandman and Harry as the two villains, and then you have him defeat them in the end in a way that's almost pseudo uncomfortable, and it ends with him still having the costume, and then the next movie is Venom.
Yeah, I would agree with you there. Although
or he gets rid of the costume in the final fight in the church, and that's when it hits Eddie Brock, and then you set up for Venom for the next movie. Like just shoehorning Venom in to the last 15 to 20 minutes of that film, and then just brushing him aside and killing him off in a way that he could never return was so clear that Sam Raimi was kicking and screaming that he had to put Venom in this movie.
I wonder if we will ever get a Venom is in the next movie from Spider-Man. I think the only way that it's going to happen is if they confirm it basically in a, I don't know, maybe with Secret Wars we would get it, because Secret Wars is the one where it's the comic book series where the black suit shows up. But it has to be gone. I don't think you can do an entire trilogy. I don't think that Hollywood has the patience at this point to do that. If you look at how starved for IP they are right now, I wonder if they actually have it in them to do Spider-Man as the start of the Venom universe. They haven't even done a traditional Spider-Man movie since The Amazing Spider-Man 2. It's always been Spider-Man through the lens of the MCU, which is insufferable because you don't get a legit Spider-Man movie. I hear that's what everybody's expecting from Brand New Day, but looking at it, looks like Daredevil and the Hulk and Zendaya are going to keep that from being a legit Spider-Man movie. So, there's also Top Gun 3 got approved and is officially on the docket for Paramount. I think that's good. I actually watched The Winter Soldier the other day, and I realized that Winter Soldier is kind of like a legacy sequel that came out within 3 or 4 years after the original. So it's the movie that keeps calling back to the original with nostalgia. He's in the museum. He sees all the stuff about what or $3-5. Oh yeah. By the way, if we get $15 more, we're gonna do Marv doing the ghost host spiel as the Joker. So, and we got about 20 minutes left in the show. But I watched Winter Soldier, and I realized how good the Russo brothers and Marcus and McFeely can be when they do MCU stuff. And now we have Doomsday, which apparently everybody liked the trailer, but it's Shang-Chi versus Gambit in the trailer. So
yeah, that was like their big one, was Shang-Chi versus Gambit. I mean, I like the Gambit. I like the Channing Tatum as Gambit in this. Like, I don't know if did we know that before?
Yeah, I think they put him in the post-credit scene or in the big chair reveal. They also said that Cassie Lang is coming back from Quantum Mania, so we get a little MCU in there.
Why did I ruin it?
Here he is, WJB Daily. We're now $10 away from the goal. Yep. For $5, big. Why do 2020 movies stink? Writing, directing, overbearing corporate management. Big question. Overbearing corporate management, CEO politics, BlackRock, etc. Idea for another show. You know,
I think that pretty much everything that you said is why these movies all stink. It's bad creatives at the heart of it, as Dojpal just said in the chat. It is the fact that you essentially have activist writers and directors who don't want to entertain you anymore. They just want to make a statement. They want to, be political. They want to, get out there with their ideology, and that has infected the entirety of Hollywood, because Hollywood is now completely overrun with these people. And now studio heads are starting to see the returns, and now they're trying to pivot. But how do you pivot when you've already pushed all of the other creatives out of Hollywood and all you have left are these activist hacks?
Yeah. The thing that, because I've got Winter Soldier on the brain, I'll bring up is like the themes of that movie are overdoing on security versus freedom, overdoing it on security, and the digital age bearing down on us, and the idea of how much of what we put ourselves online could that be used against us, which I think is something that's kind of a universal theme. So you have the theme and the subtext is what America used to be, what America's becoming. You've got this great back and forth between can Captain America be the soldier who just says yes to an establishment that he doesn't fully agree with? And you've got this counterpoint of the Winter Soldier is exactly the kind of soldier that they're asking for, somebody who is completely 100% loyal to whatever the state tells him to do. Which is great, because he's the consequences of the actions, which isn't the same thing that Red Skull versus Captain America was. That the Red Skull is the guy who admits, he's like, I am a god. You are refusing to admit that you're a god. And Steve Rogers is the guy that's like, no, I'm just some kid from Brooklyn. Of course, there's the Germany versus America thing, which is that's the overtext, but the subtext is, who are we becoming? But then you get into Doctor Strange and the Multiverse of Madness, and it's women good. You're all denying me these children that have nothing to do with the plot, and also America Chavez. America Ferrera is an actress. Yeah, that's Ugly Betty. America Chavez is the girl who's the key to everything, and she's got powers that allow punching through the multiverse, and she just needs to realize that the power that everybody knows was there anyways was inside of her all along. It's really boring. The subtext is not subtext, it's overtext. And when there's nothing to dig into in the movie, there's nothing to relate to, there's nothing to hang your coat on there and say that's the thing, how it relates to me. And it's like the she's got help scene in Avengers Endgame. You have the most physically powerful character in the MCU that does not need any help. And they say, oh, girl power. And you literally have the bald woman who's good with a staff, who's like, yeah, we're going to help you. Didn't need help. The scene makes no sense outside of it. That was actually how I knew one of my friends was going woke, was she loved that scene.
I didn't care about that scene so much. I was like, oh, that's a little weird. What I cared about was the I didn't care about the scene in Infinity War, where all the girls team up against the one female member of the Black Order. But in Endgame, with the she's got help. That scene, I was just like, oh.
Then fine, do an A-Force movie.
That was like, hey, guess where we're going now? Like, this is what's coming. It's going to be this scene for 3 phases of Marvel movies.
And that's boring. No one was interested in that. They made it more of, again, this has been done a million times over on channels like ours, or let's say more full-throated about how much they hate this kind of thing. Everybody's talked about it. That the message became the most important thing, as opposed to telling a good story. And then you get movies like No Way Home that punch through mostly on the subtext of, hey, do you remember that other movie where the Green Goblin really rocked Peter Parker's world? Well, now he's going to do it to the little baby Peter Parker that we have in the MCU.
Mhm.
Like, that's good. Oh, with great power comes great responsibility. We're going to be borrowing from other of these films. The subtext of No Way Home is so heavy because it's, oh, well, you remember that other thing that before these movies were dead inside, that you remember the Gwen Stacy thing that you actually look forward to in the other one?
Mhm.
That's what we're going to do in this film. The death of Ben Parker, we're gonna call back to that, even though it never occurred in the MCU. As far as the MCU concerned, there was some guy named Ben that died one time.
Yeah.
So I think it's just an overconfidence in what they do with the audience. And then you get James Gunn, who, he's actually a really good writer, but I just don't like his Superman take. I like David Cornsweet as Superman, but the more I see, the more I just see Superman in a diaper. So,
Mhm.
wow, that was a long response to a super chat.
It was. We're $10 away from this goal, by the way.
Yeah. And the last topic I wanted to bring up, speaking
Before you do
of,
that, it to the real fantasy element is the idea that women actually support each other. That's funny. There's a great there's a great Family Guy joke where it's like two women sitting at a table, and the one woman's like, she goes, "Oh, I love that outfit. I mean, you are so bold with your figure to wear something like that." Or like little things just like, "Oh man, you got to tell me where you get your hair dye," and like just these little like digs at each other, and then it cuts over to two dudes at the next table, and the one goes, "Hey, I like that shirt." He goes, "Oh, thanks," and then it just goes, "Men, we know how to be friends."
it's true. The older I get, the less that I have any sympathy or empathize with, like the whatever that is that Dwayne Johnson said. Like,
Mhm.
I'm actually not worried about my girls as much as far as the world is concerned. They know where the lines are very clearly. Like, you're not going to dress like that kind of women over there. You don't need to be interested in that kind of boy over there. Yes, you're capable. You need to have a backup career if for when you get married. If it turns out the guy's not everything that we thought he was going to be, we've got our support system in place and all that. I'm actually more worried about the boys than I am about the girls at this point, because the entire culture seems to be pointed at, you're either going to be complacent with what the world tells you to be, or you have to be, I don't know, the other end of the spectrum's like, I guess, Andrew Tate.
Yeah.
So that's the
Well, I
thing that
mean,
I'm more worried about here.
Our modern society tells boys all the time that they're scum and they're inferior, and that they're toxic just for existing. So
right. And so right now we have this interesting situation where a lot of 80s movies were, I mean, they're probably peak masculinity, maybe if there is such a thing as toxic masculinity, because if we say toxic masculinity, there's also toxic femininity, which we saw on the stage with The Rock there.
yeah.
It was murder and revenge and muscle fantasy kind of stuff about one guy like Rambo taking down an entire nation's army. Okay,
Right.
and then you get to the modern era, and I don't know, you get Iron Man having anxiety in Rosewood, Tennessee. We've maybe swung too far on the mental health initiatives here. I actually saw some girl at church wearing a t-shirt, a little young to be embracing the idea of anxiety, but wearing an inside out to, the shirt was right side out, but it was an inside out
childhood
to
anxiety is a
shirt.
thing. I had it, so
It is, but telling children that they have anxiety is, I don't think, helpful to children.
Mm-hmm.
So, but whatever. I'll stop ranting. Instead, we'll go for the nostalgia hit that Josh Tomorrow is trying to give us all one more time. The Disney stores got closed for a reason, but for the people who keep longing for the Disney store, they're going to do some pop-ups. Even though nobody goes to the Disney store on a regular basis, do you think you would shop at the Disney store, Marv?
You know what? I did shop at the Disney store when we had them in the malls. Like, if I went to the mall, we always stopped in the Disney store. Now, did I always buy something? No, but I wanted to see what they had. My Christmas tree is made up of mostly ornaments that I got at the Disney store in the mall. So, I mean, I think there is. I look back in the day, man. Our local mall, it was amazing because you had the Disney store, and then like right down the hall from it, you had the Warner Brothers store. And oh man, was that cool! I loved
What
just
was in the
bouncing
Warner Brothers?
between the
I've
two.
never seen a Warner Brothers store. I would stop by the Disney store, but everything was overpriced or it was
It
too current
was
for me to want to buy it.
Yeah, it was massive. So the Warner Brothers store was bigger than the Disney store, and it had a giant Warner Brothers logo outside with like a Bugs Bunny sign. And you walked inside, and it was just all Warner Brothers merch. It was Looney Tunes stuff. It was DC. Oh my gosh, the Warner. I gotta find like a video walkthrough of what the Warner Brothers store was like back in the day, because it was wonderful. You could buy animation cells. You could buy you know shirts and movies, and oh, so good.
Uh, Jesus says, I refuse to let my kids see Inside Out 2. They can watch it later. I'm not letting Disney introduce anxiety in my kids when they want to.
I
They're
mean, I
not
get
missing
that.
much. It's not that good of a movie, in my opinion. The first Inside Out is great. And the second one is, it doesn't make sense when you think about what they did with the first one. Like, sadness is joyful and joy is full of sadness.
Yeah.
It really doesn't make sense. Just the Dutchie for 12 euros. Marv, I would say we've hit our goal.
Yeah,
There's one movie I'm excited about, and that's Scary Movie 6. If it's going to be ridiculously fun as the first two and as frivolous, it'll be money well spent and goal achieved. I agree with you, Just the Dutchie. Although I'm probably not going to see Scary Movie 6 in theaters.
I'm not either. I don't really. My wife likes those movies, but
it got a good chuckle from my theater the last time I saw a preview for it. Actually, I saw that preview twice because I saw Project Hail Mary twice. So, Doge Pal for $2, and warm yourself up there, Marv, on Joker voice. No femininity, in The Rock's words, toxic feminism. Yes, there is such a thing as toxic feminism.
I will be back in 1 minute.
Okay, all right. I've already wait, no, I did it on the pro show. There's a monologue. No, I'm not gonna do it. Juliet for €5. No, 10. There you go. Well, we've hit it in actually I think that's 11 now that we say it. And Jesus, I'm gonna hold this for when Marvin gets back. But Marvin, did you ever go to one of the WBC stores in New York City? So I'll say this. There was a legendary feature of the Warner Archives that you could actually do made to order discs from the Warner Archive. So they wouldn't have it in stock, but they would print something for you if you were there, like Challenge of the GoBots or some of those classic Looney Tunes or Hanna-Barbera cartoons. Hold on one sec. Trying not to hack up a lung here on stream for y'all. Forgive me. There was a WB store that has 2 times the size of Disney across the food court in my mall. Were you in Orlando? Because I wonder if that's where I'm wondering if that's where Marvin's was. It says, "Oh, Jonas, it's Jesus, like our Lord and Savior." Oh, Jesus Ceballos. So I don't know if I can call you that on stream though. I'm uncomfortable with that idea. Hey, before you get started, for 5 from Cuban Superman, Marvin, did you ever go to one of the WB stores in New York City that had Superman lifting the elevator?
No, I never saw that. The one that I would go to was at the Menlo Park Mall in New Jersey. I remember
New
the Menlo
Jersey,
Park
okay.
Mall or the Woodbridge Mall. I forget which one had it, but one of them had a Warner Brothers store. So there's this area in Jersey, in this area in Woodbridge, where it's like you have the Woodbridge Mall, and right down the street from it is the Menlo Park Mall, and they're 2 malls, like full malls, but they're within like walking distance of each other.
And are they still there?
I believe they're both. I know the Menlo Park Mall is still there, but they've like started doing more attractions instead of like stores. But I believe they are both still there. Yeah, from what I've heard.
Amazing.
It was Woodbridge. Okay, Cuban Superman just said it was Woodbridge had it.
Okay. Somebody asked me if I saw the Pope misquoting the Bible today. No, I did not. I only saw the Pete Hegseth one where he doesn't actually quote the Bible. He quotes Pulp Fiction, and I think he actually says that he's not quoting the Bible when he says it, but the press still pushed it as if he was misquoting the Bible.
Mm-hmm. Wait, so the Pope misquoted the Bible today? That's
it's unusual. So,
Yes.
Marv, I wish we had music to set to this that wasn't going to immediately get us
Oh, you want
copyright
me to do
struck.
it now? Okay.
Oh yeah, yeah. We're wrapping up
We're
here.
waiting
This
for
is
the
a good
band.
way
Okay.
to, yeah.
Hold on, I got it right here. Okay. All right. Welcome, foolish mortals, to the Haunted Mansion. I am your host, your ghost host. Kindly step all the way in, please, and make room for everyone. There's no turning back now. Our tour begins here, in this gallery, where you see paintings of some of our guests as they appeared in their corruptible mortal state.
That is amazing.
Oh, thank you.
Keep going. Keep going. Sorry.
Your cadaverous pallor betrays an aura of foreboding, almost as though you sense a disquieting metamorphosis. Is this haunted room actually stretching? Or is it your imagination? And consider this dismaying observation. This chamber has no windows and no doors, which offers you this chilling challenge to find a way out. Of course, there's always my way.
That was amazing. That was absolutely amazing. I almost want to send in a super chat to you to say thank you for that.
Thank you.
Wow.
Yeah, I love doing the Joker voice, man. I told Beardo, I made a pitch to Beardo. I said, we need to do some kind of like video where you voice Batman and I voice the Joker, because Beardo's Batman is actually very good.
I believe it.
He was like, I'm in, bro, I'm in. So,
you know, I can't do the Kevin Conroy Batman, but I have in some stretches. I don't think I could do it again. I have voiced Lego Batman in some ads that have gone out. Not the full ads, ads, but like web ads, like not big stuff. But man,
I've always wished I could do an Adam West Batman voice, but I don't really have it.
Yeah, me neither. I don't know exactly what it is about his voice quality that's so difficult to do.
Yeah.
So,
Texas says, I'm going to do that on my next trip. Don't do that.
All right. Well, I think it's about time for us to head out of here. Thank you so much for being here for another episode of Extra Magic with Jonas and Marv, otherwise known as M-Jam. Yeah.
M-Jam.
Love it. If you haven't done it yet, like the stream, drop a comment in the comment section down below, and remind everybody that I am still on this channel on occasion. But if you haven't done it yet, please consider subscribing to That Park Place. All it is, your baby.